Sure. No, thank you. Yeah, I think good. Yeah, probably. Correct.
Are we good?
Yeah, I think you're good. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
You guys. I'll be right over here.
Okay.
Something giving a signal.
All right. Are you able to talk to tech people at all across the street?
What do you mean?
I asked the gal up there to turn on the T loop. The hearing loop? Cool. Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice. Because I don't stream right in my hearing aids because we're behind the speaker. It's really kind of hard to hear in jet for anyone.
Okay, Scott, he's got some questions about.
Yeah, T loop. Can you turn on the telecoil in the building?
No idea what that is.
Telecoil the T loop.
So there's another guy from MSU here that's doing some stuff.
Okay.
He's probably the guy you want to talk to. I don't know where he's at.
I mean, mainly we'll just wing it. But,
He just has a hearing aid into it. He has a direct feed into his hearing aid.
Yeah, he's got a connection set up there somehow run up. I don't know where he's at.
Should I go up there to that?
He's not up there. He was setting up these mics and then he got a phone call. So
totally understand. I will just look for him. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. No, that's okay. I will just look for him. It's totally fine.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'll confirm that for next stream.
Yeah. I believe there is one in here, but I could be wrong. So.
Honestly, let us know those things. We can try to.
Yeah. No, because if you have anyone that has a hearing aid that has hearing loss, which is 20% of the population, even more for those over the age of 60. Anyway, yeah, it's
Good afternoon. Welcome to Minnesota State University, Mankato. The inaugural ceremony of the university's 13th president, Dr. Edward Inch, is about to begin. Today's music has been provided by our very own esteemed Department of Music instrumentalists. Our sign language interpreters for today's ceremony are April Kanzenbach and Michael Provencia. The flags to my right represent the different home countries and sovereign nations of our current students. We also take the opportunity to recognize that we live, work, and learn in the homeland of the Dakota people, whose language frames our name, Minnesota State University, Mankato. Please rise to meet our honor guard presenting our national colors from our university's ROTC. Please remain standing to meet our distinguished guests. Please join me in facing our American flag. Members of the audience, gentlemen in the audience, are invited to remove your hats as Stephanie Thorpe, a voice faculty member in the Department of Music, sings our national anthem. We ask that you remain standing until the flags have been posted.
Please join me in singing.
Thank you, Dr. Thorpe, for sharing your talent with us today. You all may be seated. My name is David Hood, and I serve as the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs at Minnesota State University, Mankato. And today, I am honored to serve as the Master of Ceremony for this momentous university celebration. I would like to take a moment to recognize special guests and delegates joining us today. Please stand when I read your name. President Richard Davenport, the 12th President of Minnesota State University, Mankato. Minnesota State Trustee Kathy Sharon, Representative Luke Frederick, Chuck Ackland, representing the office of Senator Amy Klobuchar, and Mike Dean, Mayor of the City of North Mankato. You may be seated. Will the Minnesota State Presidents please stand when I read your name and remain standing? President John Hoffman, Bemidji State University. President Jenny Arthur, Metropolitan State University. President Kumara Jayasari, Southwestern Minnesota State University. President Robin Wacker, St. Cloud State University. President Scott Olson, Winona State University. President Jeffrey Boyd, Rochester Community and Technical College. President Adenuga Adewalagan, Riverland Community College. President Annette Parker, South Central College. And President Marcia Danielson, Minnesota State College Southeast. Thank you, and be seated. Next, I would like to recognize delegates from other institutions of higher education who have joined us today. Would the following guests please stand when I read your name and remain standing? Dr. Natalie Rasmus, University of Minnesota. Dr. Richard Leachy, Gustavus Adolphus College. Dr. James Pence, Pacific Lutheran University. Dr. Amanda Feller, Pacific Lutheran University. Dr. Fred Baldini, Samuel Merritt University. And President Gene Pfeiffer, Bethany Lutheran College. Thank you, and you may be seated. Next, I would like to recognize the faculty of Minnesota State University who have joined us today. Would members of the Council of Deans, the President Cabinet, rise to be recognized? Thank you. And finally, I would like to recognize Minnesota State Mankato's alumni, retirees, emeriti faculty who have joined us today. Please stand at this time and be recognized. I would now like to introduce guests joining us on the platform. These individuals represent various constituencies of our university's community. Platform party, please stand when I read your names and remain standing. Dr. Sharice Truesdale Moore, Vice President of our Faculty Association. Dr. Gwen Westerman, faculty of our Department of English and Minnesota's Poet Laureate. Patrick Pierce, longtime member of the university staff and Vice President of the local ASME Union. Emma Zelmer, President of our Student Government. Dr. Devinder Malhotra, Chancellor of the Minnesota State System. Roger Moe, Chair of the Minnesota State Board of Trustees. Mandy Weiser, member of the Presidential Search Advisory Committee. Najwa Masad, Mayor of Mankato. And Kendall Dively, Chair of the Minnesota State University Mankato Alumni Association. Thank you, Platform Party. You may be seated. And now it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Gwen Westerman, Minnesota's Poet Laureate, to the podium.
Amitabiapi, on petu wa yupia, he ma yu yokapi. On petu kinde, dead na waji, dakota miyawa. Makoche mtawa, washte wadaka, mihunka kepi, President Inch, honored guests, everyone here today, I greet you in the language of my family, in Dakota language. And my ancestors who were born on this land and who are buried in this land know what I said, and those words were for them. An inauguration is a time to reflect not only on the future, but also on the past. So here's my contribution today, on the threshold. In this moment, we stand on the threshold between history and the future, with a clear view of the past and its successes, its mistakes, its achievements, and false starts. What we had hoped in our hearts that we would have what it takes, and our dreams would be surpassed, not later, but sooner, that we would recognize the debt owed to those who stood on the threshold before us. They may have been fewer, but if we could have asked them, would we have what it takes to survey our history and all it imparts? How it shapes our memory and sparks our creativity and even breaks down the walls that hold fast our ability to see the possibilities, newer opportunities for us to then hold the authority to step across the threshold and see a vision for the future that can take shape at last. For we do have what it takes, a profound longing in our hearts that will rise in an arc enabling us to acknowledge our mistakes, with a clear view of the past and of those who stood on the threshold before us as we step into the future.
Thank you, Dr. Westerman, for sharing your talent with us today. And now please welcome Mankato's Mayor, Najwa Masad, to share greetings from the Mankato community.
Good afternoon. I'm honored that I was asked to say a few words today. We are all here to celebrate the past, the present, and the future of this magnificent university. Its history and involvement has been the bedrock of this community. Mankato is so blessed to have a high educational institute in which to draw and retain talent, both locally and internationally, whose focus is on inclusion and diversity for all. This university has some of the finest professors, administrators, and staff who care not only for the education of the students, but for the students themselves. This is felt throughout the campus, and we are grateful to have each and every one of you with us. Many of you may not know this, but when my husband and I came here many years ago, I worked at the Student Union dining service. Well, feeding food to the students and getting to know them was probably one of the best parts. I never went to school here, but I had one of my fondest memories being here at the Student Union in the deli and upstairs. Actually, I opened the deli when it was down here, so that was an adventure in itself. But, you know, it brings me chills when I know that the girl that was here feeding the students gets to stand in front of you today as Mayor of Mankato to pay homage to this university and the induction of its 13th president, Dr. Edward Inch. It shows anything is possible when you are part of something great. President Inch, being in the restaurant and hospitality business, I have seen wonderful presidents come and leave their own special marks on this university. I can honestly say, from the first day I met you, I could tell your number one priority was the student. I've always said, anyone can build beautiful and shiny buildings, but it's the heart of the university that stays with our students. Your passion for the university will leave an impact on our students. Your passion for how you can make the students' time at MSU Mankato memorable is apparent, and your gentle guidance for their success, both personally and professionally, is irrefutable. You can tell this is not just a job for you. You take it personally to ensure you leave a mark on anyone and everyone who graces these halls. Mankato is blessed to have you at the helm of this university, and I wish you all the continued success possible. I want to wish you, and of course, the Mavericks, the best year ever. Thank you again for having me be part of this special day. Congratulations.
Thank you. And now welcome Chair of our Alumni Board and 2018 graduate, Kendall Dively.
Hi. I am honored to be involved in this ceremony. I'm so proud to stand here and speak on behalf of all graduates of this university. I haven't had an opportunity to really get to know President Inch yet. However, what I have seen through his speeches and through his interactions with the community have been phenomenal. He is absolutely a passionate individual. He is focused on community, and I think that's a very important thing to be involved in any large scale. So, as an example, I went to this university as an undergrad. I chose Minnesota State University, Mankato, because of their innovative education programs. In particular, I went to one integrated engineering program that was based in Bloomington. In just a few short years at that school, my life completely changed for the better. And since I graduated, I have turned around and I have helped students through mentoring and other ways. And that's what I continue to see through that program. And if this just small integrated engineering program is one example of what the rest of this university is doing, I am in it for the long haul. And that's what I see in him as a perfect example of what this big picture is, focusing on community, focusing on getting people together, focusing on people being better people and collaborating. And I very much look forward to future work with President Inch, and I'm excited to celebrate with everyone today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kendall. And now, Dr. Sharice Truesdale-Moore will offer greetings from our faculty.
Greetings. As the Vice President of the Faculty Association at Minnesota State University, Mankato, I am privileged to congratulate you, President Inch, on your inauguration as our 13th president. When the university was conducting the search of the presidency, there were two important attributes that would drive the FA's evaluation. One, diversity, equity, inclusion, and two, how the new president might interact with the Faculty Association. To address the first, I would like to share a conversation I had with my father when I was in my early 20s. I asked my father, "Dad, why is diversity so important?" He responded by saying that diversity is not just an appreciation of various cultures. It's about the diversity of ideas that people bring to the table If everyone thinks like you, it is hard to be innovative and be creative. This discussion always stuck with me. To address the second important attribute, I would like to say something about the FA, the Faculty Association at Minnesota State University. We are a union that represents interests of faculty. We serve through collective bargaining, contract enforcement, and advocacy. Although some unions can be contentious, our faculty association implements best practices in which a collaborative relationship is pursued. It is much like fostering and supporting an infant in the early stages of development. Continuous support and open and frequent communication are required early in the relationship and will assist in building trust between the parties and consensus decision making. So, when all these candidates showed up on our campus, seeking to be the next MSU president, I reminisced about that conversation I had with my father and who would be the best collaborator with the union. Well, Dr. Inch rose to the top. He came ready to talk about vision, collaboration, shared governance, and consensus, diversity, equity, inclusion, and academic excellence. In my eyes, he was the rock star many of us have been waiting for. To lead Minnesota State University, Mankato, through the 21st century. Dr. Inch, President Inch. The Faculty Association is anxious and excited to travel on this journey with you. Be visionary, imaginative. Let us see the critical thinker that I found you to be. Reach for the moon, and if you don't land there, you will probably land among the stars. If that happens, you will still be among excellence. On behalf of the Faculty Association, please accept our best wishes as our 13th president at Minnesota State University, Mankato.
Thank you, Dr. Truesdale Moore. And now I'm pleased to introduce Pat Pierce, who will share greetings from our staff.
It's an honor and a privilege to be here, folks. Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Pierce. I have the privilege of offering greetings today on behalf of the staff at Minnesota State University, Mankato. I have been fortunate to have worked at Minnesota State University for 32 years and counting. During my time, I have seen a lot of changes. New buildings, new programs, new co-workers, new university names, new students, and new expectations. Change can be hard, and it can be messy, yet through all my time here, I have seen the university rise to whatever change and challenges we have faced. We've been fortunate to have strong and steady leadership, and that's important. But more importantly, I believe, is that we have built a culture of strong shared governance and collaboration. We work together to address our shared challenges, and we've been successful. So now we have arrived at another change, a new president who brings a new vision. I am sure at times it will be hard and it will be messy. Change is always good, but I have confidence in Dr. Inch and our shared governance culture. We will be just fine. In fact, I believe we will thrive. In short, Dr. Edward Inch will be installed as our 13th university president. President Inch, on behalf of the staff, we welcome you into the university community. We stand ready to provide our best efforts as we all work together to enrich and expand our lives of everyone who calls Minnesota State, Mankato, their home. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. And now, Student Body President Emma Zellmer.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so excited to be here today on behalf of the 14,000 Minnesota State University Mankato students to officially welcome President Inch to the Maverick family. I want to start in a way that I have learned from President Inch and his partner Belinda by recognizing the students who have made it possible for us to have the lights on and to be here today. As a fourth-generation Mankato student, I would also like to thank the alumni who have returned to celebrate this milestone in our university's journey. Specifically, my parents, both my mom and my dad, and my grandfather, who are here today. Our students and alumni come from all different backgrounds, from every corner of our state, country, and from all across the world. Together, we are a campus community with big ideas and real-world thinking that is always working towards becoming more inclusive, accessible, and welcoming. This is a community that we know President Inch is a perfect fit for. He can always be seen around campus, taking selfies with students, asking us about our experience, but also asking what he can do to make that experience better. Students always tell me how they felt truly heard and they were excited and hopeful for the future of our university with him as our president. When I was able to meet him for the first time last year, I felt that same excitement and hopefulness that our students express. I'm also intrigued every time we go out for coffee by his vision of a campus focused on the student experience and student success. In his first year, President Inch has been able to make campus resources more accessible to students, staff, and faculty, and has started to review what causes roadblocks in students' journeys, as well as how the university can help fix those to ensure that every student can succeed here at Mankato. He also has shared that diversity, equity, and inclusion, and accessibility are top priorities for his time here. Whenever I talk with my parents and other alumni about all we have for students on our campus today, they're always amazed by everything that we have built in the past and continue to advocate for to provide for our students. I'm excited to come back as an alumni and be amazed by all the resources that President Inch will continue to build, create, and expand. Your students have one request of you, President Inch. We would like to have you continue, get out of your office, come down, speak with your students to make sure you continue grounding your work like you already are. It's also great when we can say we've met the president. So I look forward to working with you throughout this year. Student government in the future looks forward to working with you. And on behalf of your students, we welcome you to Minnesota State University Mankato.
Thank you, Emma. And now representing the Presidential Search Advisory Committee, Mandy Weister.
Good afternoon. For those of you I haven't had the chance to meet, my name is Mandy Weister, and I am the Associate Director of the Career Development Center, as well as past President of the Administrative Service Faculty Union. It is my great honor to be here today as we celebrate the inauguration of Dr. Edward Inch as the 13th President of Minnesota State University Mankato. I imagine I'm not alone when I realize with disbelief that today is already September of 2022. The last 2.5 years have been a bit of a blur, but it truly seems like just yesterday was July 11th, 2021, when the entirety of my next 2 days on my Outlook calendar were blocked from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. How would I be spending that time? Round 1 of the presidential candidate interviews. Now, these days were especially memorable for me because not only was I about to participate in the search for our next president, I was about to set a personal record for the longest consecutive Zoom meeting. But most importantly, of course, was our charge as members of the Presidential Search Advisory Committee to narrow the pool of incredibly talented professionals to a small group of finalists, one of which would be selected to lead us into a bold future as they sit at the highest ranked spot at our institution, the president. You'll notice I just referred to leadership and rank in the same sentence. However, they are not the same. We tend to confuse rank and leadership. Rank gives you authority, and people will say what you do because of the power you hold in a position. There are many people who sit at the highest level of an organization, but that seat alone does not make them leaders. Leadership is the awesome responsibility to create an environment where people work at their natural best. It was very clear to me from my very first interactions with Dr. Inch that his interest in the position was not about rank. It was about the people. I recognized this as leadership immediately. Dr. Inch demonstrated that taking care of our faculty, staff, and students is a priority of paramount proportions. He emphasized visions of social support systems for students, increased service in areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and opportunities in technology, accessibility, and community partnerships. He recognized the unique position of time and place in which we find ourselves, and he had the experience and perspective to strategically guide and decide through both. He posited that wherever we go, we must go together as a community towards a vision with each stakeholder playing a vital role. After my experience on the search committee, I had the privilege of monthly meetings with Dr. Inch as part of my role in union leadership. Through those conversations, I witnessed leadership in action as Dr. Inch continued to accept the awesome responsibility of creating an environment where our people, mavericks, are able to work, live, and learn at their natural best. Time and time again, the welfare of our students, staff, and faculty were at the crux of his concern. In his first year on the job, I witnessed his willingness to do what was right, even if that wasn't what was easy. That's the leader we need for such a time as this. Thank you, President Inch, for not only accepting but enlivening the awesome responsibility of leadership at Minnesota State University Mankato. We are ready to go boldly forward together toward a bright future. Go Mavs!
Thank you, Mandy. And now Chair of the Minnesota State Board of Trustees, Roger Moe.
Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished dignitaries and guests, students, faculty and staff, alumni, Chancellor Malhotra, and my fellow colleague on the Board of Trustees, your very own Trustee Kathy Sharon, friends of Minnesota State University Mankato, and friends and family of President Edward Inch. I'm delighted to be with you at this very special and joyous occasion. I bring greetings on behalf of Minnesota State University Mankato's 32 sister colleges and universities. I bring greetings on behalf of the 47 communities across our state where our colleges and universities contribute to the quality of life. I bring greeting on behalf of thousands of businesses and community partners across Minnesota and the region that we work with to ensure the health and vitality of our state. I bring greetings on behalf of the 36,000 graduates who will earn certificates, diplomas, and degrees from our colleges and universities this year. I bring greetings on behalf of our 14,000 faculty and staff who use their talent, dedication, and commitment to provide our students an extraordinary education, an education that makes our colleges and universities a tremendous state resource. And finally, I bring greeting on behalf of the more than 300,000 students from all walks of life who turn to our colleges and universities each year as a place of hope and opportunity, seeking to prepare themselves for work, life, and citizenship, and to create a better future for themselves, their families, and their communities. Congratulations to President Edward Inch, to Minnesota State University Mankato, and this wonderful occasion. And finally, Chancellor of our Minnesota State system, our Chancellor, Chancellor Devinder Malhotra.
Good afternoon. Today's inauguration is part of a tradition that goes back over 300 years. It's a formal rite of passage, acknowledging a change in leadership at the very highest level. It provides continuity in the midst of change. As part of another tradition that stretches back to the Middle Ages, a new president is entrusted with a symbol of office, such as a presidential medallion, which also is symbolic of continuity. This is a moment when we join together from all corners of the state of Minnesota to help President Edward Inch and Minnesota State University Mankato celebrate the start of a new chapter in this university's history. It's also a moment for all of us in higher education, faculty, staff, and administrators, to remind ourselves of our shared sense of purpose, our responsibility, to change students' lives, to deepen their understanding of the world in which they live, to open their eyes to what's possible, and to prepare them with all they need to realize their hopes and dreams. It's a moment for us to recommit to our calling, the advancement of knowledge and learning, and service to the people of Minnesota. Moments like this create a special sense of unity. This celebration of community and solidarity in support of President Edward Inch provides a wonderful feeling that makes us realize that life is good and full and meaningful. And for those of us who know President Inch and have the privilege of working with him, today is a moment of great pride. President Inch, we are proud to be associated with your work and the excellence of your service to Minnesota State University Mankato, to its students, and to the communities this glorious university serves. With our heartfelt support and deep appreciation, congratulations. Now, it is my great honor to begin the formal investiture ceremony. Dr. Edward Inch, the Board of Trustees of Minnesota State Colleges and Universities, has selected you to serve as President of Minnesota State University Mankato. It is my privilege as Chancellor of Minnesota State Colleges and Universities to invest you in that office. President Inch, you are charged to serve as a steward of Minnesota State University of Mankato, a steward on behalf of the university's current and future students, and a steward on behalf of the communities this great university serves. First, I charge you to provide our students with an education that is truly extraordinary, an education that sets this university apart as a unique and special place. Provide our students with the opportunity not only to gain skills, but to acquire knowledge and develop their creative capacities to innovate, think, and reflect. Cultivate in our students a lifetime love for learning. Prepare them to live a life of purpose. Enable them to reach beyond what is ordinary in life, both in what they contribute and in what they cherish. Ensure our students develop a deep understanding of what it means to be human and the obligation associated with being a member of the community. Ensure that students develop a supreme regard for the rights and dignity of all people. Teach them to work together with others on behalf of the common good. Prepare students for life of citizenship and teach them to live mindfully in ways that will change the world for the better. Teach them to act from their hearts. Second, I charge you to serve the people of Greater Mankato region. Help ensure the strength and vitality of the civic, cultural, social, educational, and community organizations of this region. Partner with business and industry to ensure the economic vitality of Minnesota, the region, and our state. And in everything you do, I charge you to be a good neighbor who's there to help out whenever and wherever you can. Third, I charge you, President Inch, to use your qualities of leadership, your sound judgment, your personal integrity, together with the strengths of this university, to collaborate with colleagues across the state to advance teaching, learning, and public service to benefit the state of Minnesota. It is now my privilege to call upon Roger Moe, Chair of the Board of Trustees, to administer the oath of office and present the Presidential Medallion. Chair Moe.
I get the fun part. Me too. With the authority given me by the Board of Trustees of Minnesota State Colleges and Universities, I now ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, President Edward Inch.
I, President Edward Inch.
Do solemnly pledge.
Do solemnly pledge.
To faithfully commit my ideas and efforts.
Do faithfully pledge to commit my ideas and efforts.
To the goals of Minnesota State University Mankato.
To the goals of Minnesota State University Mankato.
And to the entire Minnesota State College and University system.
And to the entire Minnesota State University College and University system.
That they may ever better serve.
That they may ever better serve.
The individual and common educational endeavors.
The individual and common educational endeavors.
Of the people of the state of Minnesota.
Of the people of the state of Minnesota.
I hereby present to you the Presidential Medallion, the symbol of the office of the President of Minnesota State University, Mankato. Congratulations. I now call on Chancellor Malhotra to present President Inch.
Thank you, Chair Moe. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the deep honor and high privilege to present to you a proven leader and a fervent advocate for students and their success, a person who's committed to excellence, opportunity, collaboration, partnership, and innovation, a person of enormous integrity, energy, and passion, a person who will ensure that the excellence of Minnesota State University Mankato will continue to soar. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 13th President of Minnesota State University Mankato, President Edward Inch.
My turn. Well, everybody that preceded me took the message, right? We're on the threshold of doing something that's really amazing. We should do a moonshot for the campus. We have tremendous goodwill with our unions and the people that live and work on this campus. It's a pretty incredible place to be. So good afternoon, everybody. I cannot help but be awed and humbled by the gravity of this moment. What's incredible to me is as I look out on those gathered here in a year, I've met so many people. I've developed relationships and friendships that are meaningful and important to me. And I think that speaks to this community and the people that make up our university. So from the very bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here today to celebrate this extraordinary university. Its history, which as Glenn pointed out, is important. Its present, which in the immediate term, as Emma pointed out, is essential. And the future, as Sharice pointed out, is time to shoot for the stars, in case I missed the moon. You know, and with every new academic year, the return of our students and all of their hopes energizes this very beautiful campus as they pursue their academic dreams, and we're entrusted to help them achieve them. So this moment is a very special time and a very special place, not only for me, but I think for all of those that care about this university and all of the constituencies that we serve. I am deeply and truly grateful for the opportunity to lead Minnesota State University Mankato and be a part of its current time and its future time. But before I continue, I want to pause just for a moment and recognize a few of the people who helped make this day possible. I say few because there are more than I can name in the time that I'm allotted. But there are some that really ought to have some special recognition. So Chancellor Malhotra, thank you for the opportunity. You trusted me. I'm genuinely grateful. Chair Mull, trustees, all the members of the search committee, thank you for believing in me and trusting me to care for and lead Minnesota State Mankato. I know that job was not taken on lightly, but you were asked to do to find somebody, and I don't take it lightly. It's an important time for this university. To the distinguished delegates, your presence here means a great deal to me. More importantly, it means a great deal to our university. Thank you for your continued friendship, your continued partnership. To our speakers today, thank you for the kind words, and I think I'm still blushing. I'm honestly humbled by your support of me, your trust in me, and my leadership of this great university. I am ever so impressed with the Inauguration Committee and all those who participated in this incredible week of celebrations. Thank you for creating a time that reflected who we are as a university and the values we share as a community. Just by way of example, on Tuesday, we hosted a staff and faculty barbecue and pizza party with the students that honored our campus community, all the people that make up our university. On Wednesday, the day of service, we focused on our regional community, our deep ties, and our commitments we have with one another. And the Scholar Walk yesterday recognized the importance of scholarship to our university. It highlighted some of the excellent research and creative activity conducted by our faculty and graduate students. I wish I made it to all 25 showcases. I got about halfway done. To all my personal and professional friends, you have my deepest gratitude and for all that you did to help me find my path here. And I just need to take a moment of personal privilege to say, a long time ago at a different university, I was very content to be a very young dean when a provost said, I think you might have some possibility to be more than a very young dean at a small university. So my deep felt gratitude to Jim Pence, who was my provost at the time, who was able to come here today from Alexandria. All those who supported me along the way and guided me have made a difference. And I thank you for your never wavering encouragement and advice. And to Glenn, there are absolutely no words of support and helping me be able to do the job here and along the way to make sure that our university has the kinds of support that we need. And to my family, thank you for everything that you've contributed along my entire life arc, all those times that you've nurtured and guided and supported, helped and challenged. Thank you. The university I have an honor to lead is a uniquely special place, built on a foundation of long leadership and strong leadership and dedicated faculty and staff who've worked tirelessly to serve our students, our region, and the state of Minnesota and far beyond. We may be a regional university, but our reach is truly global. 12 presidents preceded me. Each brought their talents and gifts that contributed to building and strengthening our university. And I'm honored that my immediate predecessor, President Davenport, is here today. And thank you for your leadership and work that helped position our university for an exciting and impactful future where we're capable of making our shot for the moon or the stars. Thank you very much. During the past year, I got to go explore Mankato and the campus. I met with many groups of students and faculty and staff on our campus, as well as alumni and community stakeholders across the region. I asked for everybody's big ideas and aspirations to help inform the development of the new strategic plan. The theme of big ideas made sense because that's what we've been working toward. I read a lot about our 154-year history and many stories that contributed to our very deep, complex, and inspiring culture that we all share. Patrick mentioned that in terms of how we have grown and built a university together. And that culture is something to be cherished. What became apparent is that from our beginning, this university and its constituents embraced what it means to be a Maverick. And although we did not adopt Maverick as our official mascot until 1977, there was a contest. And some of you know it was between the Maverick and the Fighting Muskie. I don't make that up. It's in the book. But I can get behind the Maverick horns, right? Go Mavs. I have no idea what we would have done for Muskies. So to my predecessors, thank you for that. But since our very beginning, we've been an institution of independent thinkers with big ideas who are unwilling to settle, which is exactly what I have found here. We are determined to build the world we dream of, the possible. We have optimism about our future. We look beyond what is and toward what could be, and together we work to make our future happen. That's what makes us Maverick. That's what makes me proud to be a Maverick. On this campus, we don't do investitures of presidents often. That's probably good. Our continuity and longevity are a testament of our commitment to one another, to drive forward and build our future. And a president's term doesn't exist just because of that one person. It's what you surround yourself with and who you have here, our community. Investitures are important, though, because they do represent our commitment to honor our history, respect our culture and traditions, and appreciate the people who together can use our strengths and talents to move our university forward to meeting our goals and aspirations. Our university, as most of you know, was founded as the Mankato Normal School in 1868, and we began with a class of 27. At that time, Mankato's population was fewer than 3,500 people. It was just starting. And in very meaningful ways, our university and the greater Mankato region have grown and developed and shaped one another throughout our histories. I think Mayor Massad's comments alluded to that. In 1870, our first permanent building was constructed down the hill from where we are now. In 1872, Julia Sears became our president, the first known female president of a public coeducational institution of higher education in the United States. 13 presidents and 5 institution names later, Mankato Normal School, Mankato State Teachers College, Mankato State College, Mankato State University, Minnesota State University Mankato, I got them all. We have grown to become a remarkable institution with more than 120,000 living alumni. Throughout our history, we exemplified what it has meant to be a steward of our place. We in our region are linked in so many ways that our relationships nurture and strengthen one another. Our strong bonds and partnerships with Greater Mankato and beyond help make South Central Minnesota a destination for talent, for education, and business opportunities. Our tight bonds with our region make this an exceptional place to live, to work, and learn. Our developing strategic plan, Destination 2030, focuses on the extraordinary characteristics of our region to draw talent, draw learners, attract entrepreneurs, and opportunities here. That makes us a destination and a place of choice. And as a recognition, these connections resonate at many levels, including the reception that's going to follow this ceremony out in the corridor outside this room. My thanks to Amanda Free in my office, but also the university catering team, Lee Hainch, Jamie Waterbury, Carissa Huxford, and Chef John, for ensuring that the food that you will eat in the reception is all sourced from the Greater Mankato region. We are bound to this area. Business leaders talk with me regularly about how well we prepare our students and that they look to us to help develop their workforce. Alumni tell me how proud they are of their degrees and how well their education has prepared them to adapt, adjust, and thrive in their communities and professions, even through the last 2 years of pandemic. Conversations with our international students point to the important difference that we make in their world, in their communities, and inspire among many the drive to give back. I'm very proud to be here and continue the work and shoot for the moon in new ways. For several years now, we've talked about this place as a place of big ideas and real-world thinking, and I thought I would take a few minutes to reflect on what this means as we write our next chapter. Ours is a campus grounded in big ideas. Big ideas are those inspirations that come from so many places, including our research, collaborations that we have, our partnerships, and the passion we have for making the world what we hope it to be. Across our university, in classrooms, labs, in the field, on the courts, galleries and stages, there are countless examples of how Mavericks imagine new and creative ways to interact and change the world. Just a couple of examples. And I wish I could give a whole bunch of examples, but we'd be here long. Rebecca Bates, faculty chair of the Integrated Engineering Department, was inducted as a fellow in the American Society for Engineering Education because of her work with the award-winning project-based engineering programs in the Iron Range and Twin Cities Engineering. It's a model for how we can do other types and strategies around education. Dr. Jeffrey Buchanan in the Department of Psychology, researching the rehabilitation of persons with dementia. The work shows great promise. Dr. Gwen Westerman, who you heard a moment ago, is a professor in English and poet laureate for the state of Minnesota. She is passionate in her work to inspire young writers and thinkers to explore the world in new ways and to develop their own big ideas. The Scholar Walk on Thursday showcased so many examples of stewardship, of scholarship, with demonstrations in food and nutrition science, Earth Systems Lab, I mean, I can go on, healthcare, audiology, astronomy, so much that they were able to do. These and many, many others represent the ideas that animate our campus, inspire inquiry, inform our curriculum, and add to the world's knowledge and understanding. Real-world thinking looks at how the big ideas we develop and define, or others' big ideas, can be applied to help shape our world. We work to equip our students to think about their world, to imagine ways of acting, and focus their education on solving problems and seizing opportunity. And there are many examples of ways that our students act as being inventors, business leaders, advocates, civic leaders, and everything in between. We have many, many, many excellent examples. Our campus centers support an array of communities and needs. Some include our LGBTQIA+ Center, which is the second oldest in the country. Our Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship takes the spark of an idea, big idea, takes the spark of an idea and works with students to find ways to create new products, services, startups. The Kearney International Center supports the university's goals of internationalization and bringing communities and cultures together. The Chesley Center on Aging provides education and applied research in southern Minnesota and works with the community partners in the region's aging network. We host Swim with the Mavs, Skate with the Mavs, Maverick Rec and Read, and sponsor medical and dental clinics across the area to support our community. Professor Thad Schunkweiler, through his role as director of the Center of Rural and Behavioral Health, is focusing on finding solutions for the growing problem of shortages in behavioral health professions in rural areas of the state. Dr. Lynn Chase, director of the computer science program, started the first project-based computer science program in the nation and is a model for others. Doctoral intern Deb Kleinert from Educational Leadership is using her skills, education, and expertise to design new ways of serving our students on campus as a student wellness navigator. And alumnus Josh Tavel. Before I continue, another moment of personal privilege. When I lived in California, there was congestion on the roads and traffic was heavy. That's common. And as a measure, some know this, and as a measure to help alleviate that, if you bought a certain kind of car, ultra low emission car, you could go in the HOV lanes, the high occupancy lanes. And for me, that was a game changer because it shaved a half hour off my commute each way, each day. So I bought a Chevrolet Volt. It wasn't until I moved here to find out that alum, Josh Tavel, used his skills and education to help lead the design efforts on new EV cars, including the Volt, and later the Volt, and now currently the EV truck Chevrolet is doing. And so somehow back when I was still in the East Bay, somehow I bought a car that saved me a lot of hours because I'm a alum from here. That's a, don't you think? But I do think it speaks to our alumni and us, all of us, having a reach that goes far beyond what we may know at a given moment, but it affects positively so many. And there are obviously so many more examples, including those highlighted in the day of service earlier, such as the work that our people were doing as volunteers at MySpace, or the United Way, or the Blue Earth County Historical Society. It is clear, however you look at it though, that our university is committed to its roots and its DNA to make ideas come to fruition, have real world impacts, and we start with our community here. This concept of big ideas and real world thinking culminates for me in what I think is as a cause of inspired action. Our university has and will continue to create the conditions that allow our students and our faculty to take their ideas and plans from the drawing board to fully realize programs or services, advocacy, products, and businesses. I mean, if you think of our alum, Michael Jordan, who took inspired action to found the sportswear brand UNRL in the basement of his mother's house and grew it into a large and successful company that supplies uniforms, jerseys, and other athletic wear, is pretty remarkable. Or consider our alum, Glenn Taylor, who I appreciate is here today, who took inspired action to become a civic leader, a politician, a philanthropist. Or our alum, Tim Waltz, who serves as, took his mission of public service to become the governor of Minnesota. Inspired action occurs when we work to create the conditions that allow for us to take big steps towards solving problems and making advantages out of opportunities. Inspired action comes from a place of resolve to improve the world and what it takes to be a high-impact university. The world has changed vastly since Mankato Normal School opened its doors in 1868, and our students have also changed. They face new and different pressures than they faced in previous generations. They're going to be asked to grapple with issues such as extreme climate events, social injustice. They'll be asked to infuse our political discourse with reasoned dialogue and debate, and to find approaches to lessen violence and threats of war. A lot is going to be required of the students we're educating now and into our future. Yet our core mission remains to equip our students with the tools they need to fulfill their passion to giving the opportunity for upward social mobility, to seek new solutions and to change lives. That mission has not changed in our history. It is who we are. And this is why this university will continue to grow and thrive for decades to come. Skilled, talented, passionate people graduate from our programs, and their successes speak to the quality of Minnesota State University Mankato. Their inspired action creates new ways of understanding our world, develop new industries, strengthen our families and our communities, and they enhance our state and our region. They create new art, new partnerships, new synergies that drive all of us forward, and I know that we are known through the good and amazing works of our students. This is possible as long as our university commits itself to taking its own inspired action with our curriculum, our research, our advocacy, and focus on meeting the needs of a rapidly changing world. And we commit to being the educational partner for all learners who come to us along their life arc and career arcs. When I accepted the position of president, I made a promise, and I affirm that promise today, to do all that I can to lead this university with a focus on our student success, partnering with our community, and cultivating a culture based on innovation, inclusivity, and inspiration. Our students will continue to graduate into a very complex world rife with challenges that will test them. They will also have opportunities we can't even imagine yet. And at this university, we will be poised to provide the springboard and support for them to accomplish their dreams. I'm excited for what the future holds. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored by your presence. I'm also honored to say, go Mavs. Not Messes.
Thank you, President Inch. I, along with the faculty, staff, administrators, commit to continue this journey with you and to ensure that our campus continues to be an environment where we foster a culture where our current students and those to come in the years ahead will have a place where their actions can be inspired. I now would like to welcome back to the podium Stephanie Thorpe, who will lead us in singing our university hymn.
Please join me in singing our hymn.
Thank you, Stephanie. Can we get a round of applause for her and all of the talented musicians today? We're almost there. Guests, our ceremony is nearly complete. Once the platform party and the recessional party have exited the arena, I invite you to join us all for appetizers and a light refreshment in the Hall of Champions right outside the arena. President Inch, congratulations. This is a memorable day for you, our campus, our community, and to Berlin. Platform party, distinguished guests, please stand. When the music begins, you may exit the arena. Everyone, thank you for coming today. Today's ceremony is now concluded. Please join me again in celebrating the 13th president of Minnesota State University, Mankato, Dr. Edward Inch.